Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I know that you will have noticed when you clicked on this video that it is much longer than one of my normal videos, and that's because I had quite a lot of footage to work with on this piece. About, I don't know, 4 hours worth of footage I had to cut down. And at the time of recording this voiceover, I have cut the fat of the videos down to about an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm going to try to talk for as long as possible. So that way, when I go to speed those clips up, they're not like flying by so fast that you just can't keep up with what's going on, you know? This is a really busy painting, and I don't want it to look like this weird conglomeration of just paint and hands and, you know, shadow clips moving around, you know, from the shadow of my head and stuff. And, you know, I want it to be digestible in length, but also digestible for your eyeballs. So it's like a balancing act, you know. And for those of you who care to just hang out, buckle up, grab some popcorn, and I don't know, draw along with me. Let's go. As y'all know from my last video, I did this mommy and me painting party with my daughter. I took her to the Sambel Maxi house and we just painted together. And at the end of that video, I talked about how, you know, I wanted to keep adding to the piece because the class was only like an hour long, and that obviously is not enough time, in my opinion, to create an artwork that I'm pleased with, you know. So in my own free time, your girl painted on it. Okay, did some more to it. The finished product looks absolutely nothing like what it started out with, you know. And if y'all want to see what it started out with, do go back and rewatch the other video, speed through it if you want, or just zip around, click around until you get to the end, and then you can kind of see a brief clip of what it sort of looked like, you know. In any case, so I took Monday off work. I've been working like a ton of overtime, like 12, 13-hour shifts just to get the job done. I've been really stressed out, and I said I need a day for me, a little extra day on my weekend, and I spent that day working on this painting. I had created the sketch over the old painting, and then I posted it on my community tab, and I asked you guys, do y'all want to see a painting video? And a couple of y'all said yes please. Den and Miss Dina Tollefson both said yes, and I was like, cool, all right, let's do it then. I'll record it if you guys want to see it. And so that's what I did. I decided, like, when I was actually putting the color down, that I didn't want to shade it. I didn't want to do any highlights. I kind of like the idea of doing just a flat color and line art and leaving it nice and simple. Mostly because I didn't want to work on this painting for more than a day. I wanted it just to be a whole day project, which it ended up being the entire day. And also, it is kind of busy, you know, and I didn't want to add too much to it. I mean, yeah, it would have looked good, you know. I'm not saying it would have looked terrible, but I didn't want to add too much to it so that it's too busy, you know. I just, you know, I like it the way it is. And it's just as simple as that. It was a bit of a challenge in and of itself for me personally because it's so cluttered. You'll notice a theme with some of my art where I'll just do like just a subject, you know, and I won't do like backgrounds and stuff. Only in like literally the last year or so have I been working on pushing myself to do things like backgrounds. I've been posting videos on this YouTube channel for the last 5 years, and I've just grown a lot over the years, and I've been trying to get out of my comfort zone. Sometimes I give myself challenges. Sometimes, excuse you, shush, no meowing, shush. He's licking his little toes, his cat. Anyways, sometimes I push myself to do challenges so that I can try to grow as an artist. Sometimes I'm just downright lazy, and I just go back and revert back to my old ways of, just doing simple little things. Sometimes I'm just in the mood to do a quick doodle. And sometimes I'm in the mood to try and see if I can surprise myself, go above and beyond and out of the box. And some of my favorite pieces as far as going above and beyond would be like the toucan drawing. The Spartan one was one of my favorites. And I don't know, there's a couple other ones. I would say that as far as creating a scene, but in a more relaxed and lazy way, I love the 2 Breath of the Wild ones I did, like the Great Fairy and Melania. I think they both turned out really good, and they were just real chill videos, I think, or drawings. The length of time it took me to do those were like, I don't know, a couple of hours a piece-ish. In any case, sketching this bug painting did not take long at all. Actually, painting it took a long time, and I didn't even, like I said, shade or highlight it. But yeah, it did take like I only had about 4 hours worth of footage, but I did paint in between that as well. So I would say about 6 hours total throughout the day. And like I said, I did push myself to try to clutter it up. And I mean, that's kind of hard because you have to deal with things like composition. And composition is like when you have different elements of your artwork and you have to like combine or rearrange them in an appealing way. There's some weight to it. There's like different formulas for composition, like the flow of a piece that is like pleasing to the viewer. And, that kind of stuff, it does matter. And when I was placing the plants down, I was thinking to myself, like, well, how should I lean maybe this mushroom? If this mushroom's leaning to the left, maybe the plant next to it should lean in the opposite direction. Or maybe I should have a bit more of a wiggle or flow to it. I didn't try to overthink it, I just was keeping that in mind as I was sketching it out a little bit. And ultimately, the main subject was going to be the beetle or the ladybug reading the little book. And the very last thing I ended up drawing was I did add a little bumblebee, and I was also thinking to myself when I was drawing it too, JT Music Box, he asked me in one of my videos, it was probably the banner, the YouTube banner video, I want to say, where I talked about like one of my favorite flowers being the lily of the valley, and I had a couple of favorite flowers, and he said, he suggested, what if I did like a painting video where I drew some of my favorite flowers? And I was like, you know what? Let's do that. I'm already drawing plants anyways. Might as well add a couple of my favorites in. So you'll see that there is a couple of lily of the valleys under the ladybug, and in the background, I've got some bleeding hearts. And then the bumblebee is sitting on top of a crimson clover. And I know that's technically a weed. I think it's a weed. You know what? Let's Google that. Is crimson clover a weed? Now I'm curious. Crimson clover is a cool seasonal annual. It grows to a height of 12 to 20 inches. The leaf of the crimson clover is about the size of the red clover. It is an occasional weed problem in home lawns or other turf areas maintained at high heights of cut. So yeah, it's a weed. But the thing is weeds can be pretty, okay? It's okay to say that you like the flower of a weed, or when they start to blossom that you like them. Like, it's okay to like dandelions and those little white clover blossoms. I like crimson clover blossoms. I think they look like little red paintbrushes. They're so cute. Not to be confused with the Texas paintbrush, which is essentially, in my opinion, just a red version of the bluebonnet. Bluebonnets are also pretty. Some other favorite flowers of mine that did not make it into this painting would be like daisies. I love daisies. Gerber daisies are really full, beautiful versions of the daisy. And I also love hyacinths. Like, grape hyacinths are so pretty. Oh my gosh. Essentially, I do like flowers with like a bulb shaped flower on them, Oh, and I love mums. I mean, there's so many pretty flowers out there, and they're just so good. There's a couple of ugly flowers. I mean, like, what's like an ugly flower? I'm trying to think. Honestly, I don't know. I really can't think of an ugly flower, I'll be real with you. Maybe just lilies, just plain old lilies. They're kind of obnoxious. But like, calla lilies are kind of pretty. I don't know. I like more flowers than I hate flowers. How about that? In any case, but yeah, I guess that is like a little challenge that I've been kind of forcing myself to do in this last year's, just trying to make myself add more details to a piece, add more elements to it, if you will, and making myself and that's the thing, is it's kind of hard to make myself to do it, because it does take some creativity to come up with stuff to add to a piece, and I've never been one to be all that creative when it comes to stuff like that. So, I'm trying my best. I don't know, I think it turned out really good though. Love that bumblebee. That sucker is fluffy. He's cute. And I like that, like, I added like the little pupils to their like eyeballs. Oh, and then next to the ladybug, I put these two little baby ladybugs. They're supposed to represent my two kids. And also, I guess if there was something that I don't like about the painting, I would say the hat on top of the ladybug is not that well done. It reminds me of just like a taco. It looks like she's got a taco hat. But other than that, it's okay. It's not bad. I'm proud of it. It's hanging up. I'm literally like looking at it. It's hanging up on my wall. It's too cute. So in any case. All right. What are we at? 14 minutes? Let's keep going. Okay, so switching gears. In a previous live stream, probably it was, I was talking about how I wrote a story for the magazine because the editor was supposed to write the story, and I did all of the interviews for the story, and I took all the photos. And then she was supposed to watch the video interviews and then kind of dissect them and do the writing part, write the story. We were supposed to have, for our magazine stories, anywhere between 1,200 words to 2,000 words. It's supposed to be good and lengthy. And she presented me with like a 400-word story that was incredibly vague and downright embarrassing. So I said, absolutely not. Not for our cover story for our magazine. I will not allow this to go to print. So I went and I spent like 4 hours of my evening writing the story using her first version as like kind of the bones for the flow of the story, and then I elaborated extensively into these interviews, building up the body of this story, and very, very proud of myself because, y'all, I'm not really like a professional writer. I'm trying my very best. I am a graphic artist, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to write a story. It really doesn't. And so yeah, I wanted, because I said that I would love to read the story when it goes to print, and a lot of people in the comments was like, yeah, read it. So in order to lengthen this video a little bit longer, I would like to read the story that I wrote for the magazine. If you're interested, stick around. It's happening. If not, skip on to the end, because that's when you're going to get to see the finished piece, and you don't have to listen if you don't want to. I am not twisting your arm. Okay, so here we go. Pop Culture Convention returns. Story by me. Photos by me. The Love Civic Center was filled with fandom and pop culture galore in April when the local convention PTX Con Level 2 was held. This was the second PTX Con that has been hosted. The first was in October of 2022. The event was presented by Tyler's Pizzeria and sponsored by many other local businesses, including Warriors Legacy Martial Arts, Mix 1077, K-Bus, Visit Paris, Texas, and Paris, Texas Delivery. PTX Con hosted a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament and a Magic the Gathering March of the Machines tournament that was sponsored by two competing game companies, Griffin Gaming and Major B Sports Cards and More, who joined together to support the events. After the tournament was complete, tabletop gamers were invited to stick around for some D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. In quotes. About 40% of the people who come to the con are actually not from Lamar County. So we're getting a lot of people into Paris. Most of them have been here before, but some, it's their first time, says Paulie Olay, the convention's coordinator. Lay got his start in music back in the 2000s, and after a while found his love for conventions, leading to a natural transition into the pop culture scene. Bringing conventions like these to smaller communities is Lay's goal. When asked, why Paris, Texas? Lay responded, the community itself is so engaged. Then Lay goes on to kindly praise each sponsor for their support. Warriors Legacy Arts owner, instructor, Ryan Crawford, was one of the event sponsors that had a booth set up as well. Growing up, I've always been a bit of an oddball, but I grew up in the nerd environment, video games, anime, the whole bit. And this is a place for oddballs, says Crawford while sporting his Star Wars cosplay. Always looking for new members. Always looking for new members to join the Warriors Legacy family, Crawford put on a free lightsaber combat clinic event at 2 p.m. for children ages 12 and up, using Thailand sword fighting as a base for the show. Once a month in class, we turn off the lights and go through our sequences, but with lightsabers. At the end of the day, it's all about having fun. He pauses, looking around the convention center, smiles, and states, which is what this is all about too. Special guests and celebrities attending were the Silver Ranger, Justin Nemo, Sonny Costello from Idiocracy, comedians Brandon Killo and Ashley Watson, Josie Scott, which is the original lead singer of the band Salvia, voice actors Tyson Reinhardt and Brianna Roberts, popular cosplayer Miss Faye Mullins, and many others made appearances at the convention. Nonprofit organizations popped in as well. Chris Uzzle, president and founder of Ghostbusters North America, along with Chester Johnson, vice president and co-founder, a nonprofit located out of Dallas, attended the event. We are looking to hopefully collect money to donate to charities and just help the community become a little bit of a brighter place, said Uzzle. Johnson elaborated. In the upcoming weeks, we are going to be doing a charity event for the Alumni Association at SMU. Those interested in donating can contact them via email ghostbusters_north_texas@yahoo.com. Miss Faye Mullins, a 42-year-old semi-professional cosplayer, attended and live streamed the event from her booth, dressed as Nightwing from the DC Universe. The Oklahoma native started her cosplay journey at the age of 15. I've always been a fan of putting on costumes and using thrift stores to make myself a character, says Mullins. When she was given her first sewing machine from her father at the age of 16, she started making her own outfits. Reminiscing on her childhood, Mullins recalled the struggle of growing up with a love for pop culture. When I was younger, no, it was not cool back then to be a nerd like this. I wore my nerd proud, but I was also picked on for being that nerd, says Mullins. As she got older, she moved to a small town where she connected with a group of like-minded friends. We would be out in the woods, out in the cow pastures, in costume all the time. Now I'm in the cosplay community, and I have found that there are a lot more of us out there than I ever thought there could be, she says with a smile. Mullins was invited to PTXCon as a replacement for another cosplayer who could not attend the event. She expressed that she was happy to be here. I love the smaller events like this, Mullins says. I'm able to talk to people who have never done this before, or this may be their first time showing up in a costume that they bought from eBay or one from Halloween, and I love to encourage them to keep going and progressing. Mullins is part of a 501c3 nonprofit organization called ROS, Real Okie Superheroes. According to the brochure she provided, the group is composed of volunteer cosplayers who visit children's hospitals and the elderly at senior residential facilities, bringing joy and light in the midst of dark times. More information on ROS can be found at www.realokiesuperheroes.org. Tyson Reinhardt is a Texas native and professional voice actor who mostly works with Crunchyroll. He has voiced in anime including One Piece, Dragon Ball Super, My Hero Academia, The Slime Diaries, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, and countless others. His impressive vocal talent even extends into the video game world, voicing Cabracon, Nerd Rage Cabracon, and Dark Lord Suwukon from Smite. When asked what got him into his career, Reinhardt said, I was doing a production in Dallas of A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. I was acting with somebody who also acted with Fun Animation. I ended up working with them from that point on, and that's what I've been doing for the last 15 years. Reinhardt's main goal at conventions is to have as many interactions with the fans as possible. There's been a lot of good experiences that I've had. He especially loves seeing the artwork that his fans make of the characters he's voiced. There's a fella who I think is up in Michigan. Every time I come up there, he would have a new artwork of one of my characters using different colors of electrical tape, creating a mural, which is awesome. I've got a couple of them that he's done. That's one of my favorites. It's so fun, says Reinhardt. Brandon Morgan, a Reno resident, attended the PTX Con to sell his unique video game action figure photography. After missing the first convention, he was determined to not miss this one. I've been meeting so many incredible people, really fun people to talk to, says Morgan. You're finding stuff out about people that you've lived close to and you didn't even know they were into this kind of stuff. His wife, an avid collector of Monster High dolls, pushed Morgan to follow his dreams. Together as a family, they look forward to seeing PTX Con grow with each passing year. Morgan says, "This makes me feel happy. I don't see a single person who's stressing out, mad, or upset. Everyone's talking. Complete strangers are bonding and geeking out over this stuff right now, and it's perfect." When asked what he'd like to see in the future, he expressed his interest in bringing in dioramas and allowing people to pose toy figures in them and take their own photos at the booth. He then talked about how he'd love to see more people come into Paris, Texas to visit. This is such a good in-between spot. And let's bring out some more local celebrities. Morgan ended with a hearty "Bring it on," and check out at Path the Collector on Instagram. North Lamar ISD art student showcased, North Lamar ISD art students showcased and sold art pieces during the con. Phoebe Michael was one of the students selling custom art pieces. I started making clothes in January and worked really hard on them. I just tried to think of things that girls like me would like, different fandoms, and things that I thought was cute, says Phoebe, who was selling custom painted clothing and original photography prints of different Paris, Texas locations. Phoebe is in second commercial photography class and is the North Lamar photo editor for Yearbook. When asked how she would like to see the convention scene grow, Phoebe responded, "Honestly, I would like to see more schools get involved and help the kids get tables set up like this. The conventions team is based in Oklahoma and is looking to pass the torch on to a local coordinator. Those interested can email ptxcon@gmail.com. We expect this to keep growing. We're hoping that someone local is going to be able to take charge of it moving forward," Lay says. "The goal is that this stays a Paris thing." And then I interviewed a couple of cosplayers and stuff. And next to their photo, I did like these little comic book style pop out, like speech bubbles. And this one couple was so cute. So I interviewed them and they said, Nikira Sanders cosplaying as, I'm going to butcher this name, Ki Tsukishima, a volleyball player from the anime series Haiku, and Benny Raymond, who let Nikira dress him up as they walked around the convention. This is the couple's second time visiting PTX Con. Raymond shared that he only recently found a love for anime since his girlfriend Nikira introduced it to him. "I've loved anime since I was little," says Sanders. They both state that their favorite anime is Dragon Ball, but for different reasons. "Ever since I was little, my dad had me watch the show, and growing up, I just built on watching them completely," Sanders said. I'd say the fighting scenes. I like the action, says Ramon. When asked if they had any advice for anyone wanting to get into cosplay, Sanders said, just do it. Because at the end of the day, if it's something you love, just go for it. You can't hold yourself back. I'd say it's a great way to express yourself, says Ramon. Not only that, you get to be really who you want to be. There's many possibilities out there. And then there's a little pop-out message from a girl named Kayla. And she says, I've been cosplaying for about 2 years now. She said, for somebody who has lived here all her life, I'm definitely excited to see more of the anime nerd culture come into Paris, Texas, and have conventions like this. And yeah, essentially like that's it though. It's mostly just pictures of people having fun, and there's group photos and besties, and everyone's all dressed up, having a good time. And I got quite a few pictures of some of the celebrity guests. But that's the story, and I'm so proud of it. I thank you so much for all of you who stuck around and listened to that very long story, because it was very wordy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was 6 pages worth, plus the pop out on the 7th page. Oh my gosh. But yeah, like the original story that was presented, it would never have filled up even half of a page worth. All these people I interviewed, she cut it all out. The names, the quotes, like she was just very vague about all of it. Even the very beginning part where I talked about all of the sponsors, none of those were listed. The tournaments, all those weren't listed. Like, oh my gosh. And then like the locals, like Phoebe and Brandon, and even Nikira Sanders and Benny Ramon, the couple, like those are all locals from here. Like, specifically because I added those people, like their family members came in and bought magazines because their kid's picture is in it, or their husband's picture is in it, like, and they were quoted in it. Like, it really does matter. And I might not be the strongest writer, but I am passionate about my job. And like I said, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to write something special. You can make it special, even if it's not like technically grounded or sound. I don't know, but I'm very proud of my work, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity on my YouTube channel to get to share it with you guys, because I know that there's some people out there who love the pop culture scene, and you love like anime and video games, or maybe even if you don't like those things, you might share that same passion for community and just stuff like that. Like, it's there for somebody. There's a little bit of something for everybody, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? In any case, what are we at now? 33 minutes? I think that's good. I think I can very comfortably speed this video up to 33 minutes, and it won't just be flying and whizzing by, Thank you so much to all of you who hung out for the duration of this video. And even if you couldn't bring yourself to listen to it all from start to finish, thank you for stopping by anyway and just checking out the video for even just a moment. Because, that means something to me, and that's special. And I like that. I've made quite a few really, really good friends through my YouTube channel. You guys are all really awesome. I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.